Hey guys, today we're gonna be doing two stories. No, one story. I didn't know, that's 11. One story. I never realized, we're doing a movie. A movie's being made about my life, mostly, in fact, all of it back 50 years ago, half a century ago. And I never in my life, as all these adventures of Kevin Maher were happening, just as fast as they happened, they went in the background, and I started a new adventure, and then another new adventure. Then came a script. It's right here, written by Oscar award-winning writer Robert Port, and a huge studio came into my life. Now, this guy, Rob Port, starts picking my brain for these stories. And I never realized that these two stories wound up being one for a whole bunch of different reasons. September 5th, 1972, I was being transferred from Rikers Island to Elmira State Prison to begin my 4-year bid. I was being transported in a 1968 Fury 1 station wagon, green in color, no markings on it, with two other Puerto Rican guys from the Bronx House of Detention. All right, so to make a long story short, I already did a video, three-part video, Kevin's Great Escape, but that's not what this is going to be about. I mean, it's going to be about the escape. So anyway, to make a long story short, I escape while being transported. I get away, gone 45 minutes, helicopters, state police, everybody is looking for me in a town called Endicott, New York. And I get caught in the back of a record store on Washington Street, called Woody's Record Store. I'm not going to go into the details because I did it in the other video. So I get caught by one of the correction officers in the back of the store, and he kicks me down a flight of stairs 3 times, broke my teeth. He was effing me up bad. So he's got me in the back of the store at gunpoint, kicking me down the stairs, effing me up. And a sergeant, whose name I found out through the newspaper articles that you'll see here, I don't know where the editor's going to put them. That sergeant came in just when he had the gun to my face and kicked me down a concrete set of stairs. Well, that cop was a real cop, a real man. God bless his soul, he passed away in, I think, 2001. He came in, grabbed that correction officer by the throat, pinned him up against the wall, disarmed him, and told him, I don't know who you think you are, this is my town, my city, I should lock you up, or something to that effect. He had him. And then, now, there's helicopters, police sirens, that whole town, as you'll read, gunshots were fired at me. They struck another car with a guy in it. It was a big thing. They made a big thing. I'm 18 years old at the time. So this cop grabbed me and said, "Are you all right?" And I'm bleeding from the mouth, and it was horrible. And he says, "Okay." So the correction officer tries to take me. He says, "Nope. He escaped in my time. He committed a crime here. He's mine. Is you okay?" And I go, "Yeah." So I go to stick out my hands to be handcuffed. And he goes, "Come on. You don't do nothing stupid. Come with me. You need an ambulance?" I said, "No." Take me to a police car parked outside, and they take me to the precinct. While in the precinct, these 3 correction officers are getting bawled out. I can hear everything because I'm right in the cage with the other 2 Puerto Rican guys, and we can hear everything. We can hear what's going on. They're getting screamed at. They're saying, don't charge him, don't charge him. So, but it wasn't up to them. I mean, they could have charged me criminally, but it was really up to either one of them could have charged me. But both of them decided not to. While they're on the phone with their bosses in New York City, the one cop comes up to me and he goes, you know what? We got 40 miles to go from here to Elmira. You're going to escape again, and I'm going to blow your brains out. And he says it right in front of 2 Puerto Rican guys. And they're going, oh, shit. And they were that fucking mad. So I'm shitting in my pants, as was these 2 other guys. My hero shows up, and I says, wait a minute. He just said he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. He's going to say I escaped again, and he's going to kill me. He's going to kill me. No one's going to kill me. So I was like fucking crying. I'm like, what the fuck? I didn't know what was going to happen now. And so the sergeant says, nobody is going to kill you. I promise you. So again, to make a long story short, they do the paperwork. They don't charge me. They throw me in the back of in the back of that station wagon in front of all the media. And I tell the media, they said, well, what happened? What do you? I said, they're going to kill me. They have me hog-tied. Fucking. So this is what that man did. That sergeant from Endicott, New York, whose name escaped me, but it's in the other thing, in the other video. He drove out of his jurisdiction 40 miles. He was on their bumper the whole way up to Elmira. Why? He didn't know me. Why did he do that? So then I get to Elmira, and I don't even get. I became like a celebrity. I was on TV. All the inmates seen me. Not only did all the inmates want to hear that story, because the 2 Puerto Ricans are already saying, even before I got into what they call general population, I had to go to the hospital. I had to go to the hospital because my face was all effed up. So I was there for 2 days, maybe 3. And then I get put in general population. And next thing I know, everybody's pointing at me. That's the guy. And I'm not only famous amongst the inmates, I'm famous amongst the COs. They wanted to hear that story. There were cops there were correctional officers when I was in the infirmary there that would come in with the newspapers, and I got the newspaper clippings. You're going to see it here. And they would be, oh, what the fuck? So I was like a little celebrity. So now I escaped. So Elmira prison is for reception for 2 months. Everyone that goes through the New York State Department of Correctional Services must go there first. They evaluate you, they test you, they get a feel for who you are in those 2 months. Then those correction officers recommend what institution they're going to send you to. Excuse me. So now, as I'm being interviewed by people, and this is the old days before computer, my file comes open and I'm watching it. Every page of those documents have a big rubber stamp, escapee, 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 escapee. So, that means I have to serve my prison sentence in a maximum security prison. Like Elmira was a maximum security prison. They could have sent me right there if they wanted to. But for whatever reason, the correction officers that were evaluating me for these 2 months decided that I should go to Kaksaki prison. It's a vocationary prison. It's like a camp. It was like a camp. It was really, the food was great. It was a place to go to rehabilitate you, not to punish you. It was more rehabilitation than punishment. And I just came from doing 14 months in Rikers Island, which was a fucking zoo. And so this was like a country club. I had my own cell, my earphones, I had everything over there. So anyway, they recommend me to go there. And then somebody says, wait a minute, Kaksaki is a minimum security prison. He can't be put there. he's got to go to any one of the others. I could have went to Comstock. There was a whole bunch of Clinton. There was a whole bunch of prisons I could have went to. So, but they liked me. I don't know. They liked me, and they put me there anyway. So now I get to Kaksaki, and the same thing. For like 2 weeks, they evaluate you and, decide what kind of vocational programs they have to put you in. What's best for you? And they're reading. Now I get to Kaksaki, and they're reading escapee, and they're going, wait a minute, you can't be here. You can't be here. So it went up to the superintendent, Mr. Fritz. We'll go get to him. It gets up to him, and he let me stay. I'm the only one, and I think there were 1,300 inmates in that place. I'm the only one. I couldn't get a job outside. They had a farm. They had milked the cows. I couldn't get that job. So they put me. My job was working with the nurses because I had no drugs on my record, and I was white. That was the fucking criteria to be in that job. And I was one of the only inmates there that didn't have any drugs on his record. I didn't do drugs, so they put me up there with the three nurses. So I had a really good bit, and then I wound up being the altar boy I'm a Catholic, and I was an altar boy for Father Durkin. And so anyway, now a year passes. That's why these two stories, I never thought that the escape story was this story too. So now, it's a year later. I'm 4 months to seeing my first parole board, which I know I'm going to make. I know I'm going to make it. I only had a couple fights there, and I was never the aggressor. So anyway, I know I'm going to make it. Then I find out that my father's dying, that he has to have open heart surgery, mitral valve prolapse. So my cousin comes up, and she tells me, your dad's in the hospital. Going to be, they thought he only had like a 50% chance of surviving the operation. So I get that news. So 6 months earlier, New York State Department of Correctional Services came out with two things. One, you could phone home, collect phone call. That was that. And the other one was if you were within 1 year of your parole, and there was a couple of other little rules. 1 year of your parole, and you're not an escape risk, you were eligible for a furlough for like the holidays, Hanukkah, Christmas, and if one of your immediate family members passed away or was passing away, they could give you a 3-day furlough. So I go, man, I'm only 4 months away, I'm going to put in for the furlough. Put in for the furlough. My priest comes to me, I'm sorry, Kevin, you didn't get it. They're not giving it to you. I said, only 4 months. You think I've been down at that time almost 3 years. I mean, I was just like a terrible thing. Remember, I'm the only one in this prison that's an escape. I shouldn't even be in this prison because I'm an escapee. I'm a Houdini. That's what the fuck I am. I always screw myself. So I apply for the furlough. I get turned down. Now I'm in the yard, general population. Father Durkin gave me the form, the rejection, escapee, ineligible because I'm an escapee. I only have 4 months to go. And this is like right out of a movie scene. The priest goes to this man, this angel, Mr. Fritz. And he goes and he tells my story. I almost want to cry. This happened 53 years ago. And the next thing I know, 17799, report to Mr. Fritz's office immediately. So I go, oh, fuck. So everybody's looking like, oh, shit, what the fuck did he do? What? I go, and then I walk up to the desk. I come out of the yard. Then there's a desk with a CO there. And he goes, here's a piece of paper, like a hall pass for a school. Go and go to Mr. Fritz's office in the front. I go, what's go? Just go. So I go and I'm walking down. It's a big friggin' hallways. I'm all by myself. And that's a rarity when you're in prison, to be walking in a big long hallway all by yourself without a hack fucking, And so I go there and they go, yeah, go upstairs. I go upstairs and I go to his office. His door's open. The sign on the door says R.B. Fritz or whatever. I don't know. Remember his first initial, Fritz. Underneath that, it says superintendent. So I see Father Durkin there, and I see Mr. Fritz there, and he says, have a seat. And he goes, I want to talk about the furlough. Your furlough was rejected. So I go, I know that, it's, and then he goes on to say, I can't give, he's explaining why he can't give me a furlough. It's part of the rules. There's no way I could give you a furlough. I just want you to understand that. So I'm thinking to myself, what's he trying to do? Make himself feel good by giving me I really had a fucking attitude. Back when I was younger, I was really nasty with my mouth. I was ready to tell him, well, yeah, so what the fuck are you telling? I already know all of this. So I'm telling him, I already know this. I got it. He goes, all these reasons why he can't give me a furlough. I said, my father's dying. I get it. I only have 4 more months. And he says, I know. Father Durkin has spoke highly of you. I'm looking at your disciplinary record. Every fight that you had, you were never the aggressor. So I'm going, okay, what's going on? He goes, I cannot give you a furlough. But what I can do is take you off the count for 3 days. And I said, take me off the count. He said, yeah, that's like if an inmate is in the prison and he has to go to a doctor, he has to go to the hospital, he has to go to a dentist, he has to go to a court appearance. You're still on their count, like 1,300 prisoners. So when they count you 3 or 4 times a day, they have to come up with all those numbers, and it has to be. He goes, I'm going to take you off the count for 3 days. If you don't come back, if you get arrested, if you do anything, you see that sign on the door there? It won't be there. Telling me if I don't come back, if I get arrested, if I don't just go see my dad and come back, he risked his job, his whole career for me. All because of a priest feeling sorry for me. That's really what it came down to. And I said, okay. The door was open to his office. There was a CO outside the door. And I said, oh, thank you so much. I promise. I'll come back no matter what. I got 4 months. I'll come back no matter what. And I said, what do we do now? Because your father's going to be operated. I think it was that day. Hey, you're going right now. He says, get him a Stato suit. Get $60 out of petty cash, give it to him, and take him to the bus stop. I didn't even go back to pack up my shit. I'm like, so now I'm in prison like 30-something months, and the next thing I know, and his office was right in the front of the prison. If you Google West Coxsackie Correctional, you'll see they have a big long. It looks like a college. Right? So I'm right up there now, and the next thing I know, I'm taken downstairs where they release you there. Right? And I'm changing my clothes, putting my shit in the bag, and I'm in a car, and next thing I know, I'm on a Greyhound bus going to Port Authority, New York City. So I thought, looking back now, this is the time where I hated cops. I had one cop save my life and then drive out of his district 40 miles to ensure that nothing happened to me. And then this priest, this angel, Mr. Fritz, let me out. I was the last I shouldn't have even been in that prison. And if they can't, I shouldn't have even been there. And the only one, and I certainly shouldn't have let me go the way he did. You see my point? So when we're doing this movie, and then we're going to be doing a TV show. I'm going back, and those two stories are really one. Don't you agree? Leave a comment. Don't you see? I escaped. This guy lets me out. So, holy crap! If that's not a story that I don't know. I just wanted, as I said, I did the story about the escape. I did the story about him letting me out. But you know, when you do the script and you're putting all your stories together, you go, holy shit, these two stories are really one. They one caused all these, the domino effect. And despite that, this man let me go. God bless you, Mr. Fritz. See you on the next one.